Welcome to the land that mentally bore you. Welcome to the land that holds you as though you are superior with rights and humanity, but in reality you lie beneath the soil. Welcome to the land where the wealthy needs you as a foundation so they may walk upon you. Welcome to the land where priceless lives is the real price for oil. Welcome to the land where ignorance has plagued the masses. Welcome to the land where politicians is relaxed and offer your taxes. Welcome to the land where they design taxes to make you keep less. And if your salary was a sweater, you'd only get a sleeveless. Welcome to the land where they must blast to last, where there is more mention of Al Capone than there is of Al-Shabazz. Welcome to the land where hatred is contagious in this fast-paced nation. Welcome to the land where my pages never run out of words, but rather my words run out of my pages. Welcome to the land where mind penetration is by the hands of the television. Welcome to the land where their vision of the world ain't the same as world vision. Welcome to the land that made Malcolm X and then decided to X Malcolm. Welcome to the land where you are not welcome. Thank you. That was just a poem that I performed at the Nationals. I do a lot of, I go into prisons a lot and help inmates or help people that are in prisons do creative writing and lyrics just to get what they want to say out, and also do a lot of workshops in high schools. And sometimes I get some really bizarre questions. This past week it was pretty funny. Have you ever been asked a stupid question that was so profound that if you didn't answer it, you'd look stupid? And you have to answer the profound, like the stupid profound question with a stupid profound answer? There was this girl, and I mean, the entire class was asking, like, you know, philosophy, Iliad by Homer, blah, 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 blah. And then one of the girls was like, Marcus, do you love poetry? And I was like, no. And the entire class was confused, but the beautiful thing about it was the question is truly profound, and you don't know how profound the question is until you attempt to answer it. They say, he who asks a question may be a fool for 5 minutes, but he who does not is a fool forever. And what she asked me is, do you love poetry? And my honest answer was no. A lot of the times, what differentiates between good and bad, intentionally or unintentionally, is people's misinterpretation of tools and goals. I asked the class, and I'm going to ask you guys, if I were to write you a check right now, and I'm going to ask you, of $20,000, what would you use it for? Or what would you use it on? If I were to give you $20,000 right now.
Probably get a new bike.
Get a new bike, okay. If I were to give you $20,000, what would you use it for? Yes? Shopping spree. And yourself? Shopping spree, okay. The reason I told her this is because many of us confuse our goals and our tools. Our goals, for example, should be to help our community, to help and uplift our family, to help the orphans around the world. That is a goal. Money is a tool to attain that goal. I love the goal. I love to help people out. I love to help my community. I love to unite people. I love my goal. But do I love my tool? No. It is a tool to get to my goal. I need that tool. And a lot of people don't reach too high, so they make money their goal. Many of us, inside our minds, think, okay, I graduate, the first thing I want is $60,000 a year, $80,000, $3 million, $4 million. That is our goal. And the minute we get to that goal, we don't know what to use that money for. So when she asked me, do you like poetry? No, I don't like poetry, but I use it as a medium to uplift, to inspire, to teach. That is my tool to unite people. And that was my answer. And I said, man, that was a stupid, profound question. Thank you. You know, so it was really good. My father, I grew up in a house. My father has taught me that words are like people. They have inner beauty and outer beauty. See, the outer beauty of words, what lures people in, what seems so appealing to people, is eloquence. The inner beauty of words is meaningfulness. A lot of people have the outer beauty, the eloquence. They talk so well, it is so dressed, but they do not have the inner meaningfulness when you get close and you really listen to what they are trying to say. Whereas some people have meaningfulness in what they say, but don't have the ability to convey that which they want to say. And it is the very few that you find that have the ability of both. So the truth does not need eloquence. The truth needs simplicity. It is falsehood that needs eloquence to cover up all the ugliness of it. The truth, so it's falsehood, because what puts the truth forth is what is being said, and what puts falsehood forth is how it is being said. And that's what we always have in mind when we write, when I write my poetry. I want to ask you guys a question. How many of you have been to a slam or a poetry competition? 2? 3? Okay. How it works is you go on stage, or you have 3 minutes. You go into an audience similar to this, 200, 500, 1,000, and you're competing against a national level, like the best top 4 poets from Ottawa, from New York, from Los Angeles, from wherever, and you have a maximum of 3 minutes to say what you have to say. Doesn't have to rhyme, none of that. And there are 5 judges in the audience, and what's really interesting about slam is that you have to understand who you are speaking to, because you've never met the audience before, like I have never met you before. So we do a lot of, you could say generalization, but we do a lot of studying. So we go and we see, okay, there's a lot of females in the crowd, maybe we should do a romantic poem. There's a lot of, macho, tough guys, maybe we'll do a tough poem. Maybe there's a lot of this gender, there's a lot of this group, there's a lot of this style, genre, so on and so forth, and we break it down. But it gets really exciting and gets really tough, because sometimes you have a romantic poem that's really strong, and the person right before, and you're preparing, you're gonna kill the audience with this poem, and then you're getting ready, and the person right before you gets called up, and he does a romantic poem. Now the audience already heard it. Say he just talked about the brain and the neuro cells or whatever, and now I come up right after, and now I have to talk about the brain. It's not the same. So yeah, that's so poetry is really interesting with psychology, and you have to really understand. It teaches you a lot. So I'm going to share with you another piece, and then I'll explain something else. I think that philosophy and religion are the 2 most complex subjects in the world. And this is a poet's drug. I break philosophy and religion. I roll it up in scrolls. I light it up with patience. I inhale wisdom to get high off of knowledge. My saliva becomes elegant words. That's why I spit poetry. I choke on controversy, so I cough out scriptures. My eyes are bloodshot, but I still inhale some more. Tears of ink drip down my face, and when they hit the ground, bookshelves sprout from the pavement of observations and analytical pages from Aristotle and Aesop fables of Machiavelli and Hobbes and great philosophical scholars, and I'll just stop right there. Everybody's talking about the PC and the Mac. I have a BlackBerry, so I'm going to be using this for a bit. Many speakers, and I feel in a way I'm like teachers. I relate to my high school teachers a lot more now than I did before. A lot of poets. There's a lot of intelligent people that come on stage, and many of them, when they perform a piece that's so deep, it just goes over everybody's head. They get really angry. And they get angry that they did not connect with the people. And they have this really confused, noble thing that they don't want to dumb down, or they don't want to tarnish what they have to say. So when I break it down to whoever comes on stage, and this applies sometimes to teachers, because I've had some physics teachers that I absolutely do not understand. And it just goes over your head. You have to understand that it is like a conversation. It is like a one-on-one thing with somebody you have never met in your life. Let's say you're at a coffee shop or whatever, And when you speak with them, we already know that what you have to say or what you know, we acknowledge that level. But now when you are talking to that individual, let's say I ask you about Caesar and you're a history teacher, I don't want you to tell me, oh, you know, Pompey and Cassius and the senators, and, you know, I don't talk too detailed. You have to break it down as in, you know, Caesar, I'll teach you guys something about Julius Caesar after, just because I brought it up. Did you guys know that when Julius Caesar went to Egypt and came back to Rome, and he was the dictator of Rome, people were so fearful of him that he was the one that introduced the calendar system that we now use, that he adopted from Egypt. So the calendar introduced to the Western world was by Julius Caesar, and because they feared him so much, every month was called the first month, second month, third month, fourth month, fifth month, sixth month, whatever. The month that he was born in, every month was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, except for the month he was born in. They're like, we'll rename it July, which is named after Julius. So that was because of Julius Caesar. But yeah, what was that? Yeah, so what I was saying is like, I mean, I explained it easy, right? So a lot of people, a lot of poets, and this applies to a lot of people that speak and do public speaking or teaching or whatever, don't dumb it down, but just, you know, speak to the masses. Speech, the power of speech has been what led every revolution. It is speech that every great leader has had in the past. The spoken word versus the written word. I am sure that Che Guevara did not write a 5-page essay to lead the Cubans, nor did Malcolm X, nor did every other speaker. So it is very powerful, and to be a leader, you need power. To have power, you need the ability to influence. To have the ability to influence, you must understand the human psychology and cater to it. So to have to be a leader, you need power. To have power, you need to influence. To influence, you must understand the human psychology. And it doesn't work backwards, because everything that comes after is only a factor of what it is. An arm makes me, but I am not my arm. So you can say, to be a leader, you need power, but just because you have power does not make you a leader. To influence, you must understand the human psychology, but just because you understand the human psychology does not make you influence people. And what I mean by to have power, you need to influence, is that you must influence a person's one or more emotions. For example, if you influence, or if you are able to influence or inspire someone's fear, you have control over that emotion, therefore you have power over that person. And that's exactly what a bully does. They inspire and influence a particular person's fear, and that is how they control them. If a person inspires or influences someone else's love, in a way they have power over that person because they control that emotion. If someone inspires or influences another person's anger, they control that person. As an old or an ancient proverb goes, he who angers you conquers you. And the more emotions one can control, the more they have power over them. So keep that in mind when you write a poem, when you write a speech, whenever you do a presentation for university, for high school, for whatever. And thank you all for having me here. I really appreciate it.